Hi, I'm Dr. V.
And I'm Dr. A.
Two docs on a mission to answer your burning questions about burning sensations and all things science. This is What the Woo. Enjoying the podcast? Looking for even more exclusive content and merch? Go to patreon.com/whatthewoo to join the Woo crew and get awesome member benefits and all new podcasts. That's patreon.com/whatthewoo. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on. Thank you so much for making guacamole.
Oh, you're welcome. I just had avocados I needed to get rid of.
Well, it's good because I was feeling a little full from last night and I made some marmot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hear that's like the cool thing to eat.
That's right.
So did you read the article?
I did. So that was the one that you sent from Washington Post. Couple got the plague going retro.
Yeah, I don't even fucking understand this. Like, it said that they live in Mongolia, right?
Yes.
And they decided to eat marmot because of its health qualities?
Yeah, marmot, it's like a kind of like a squirrel relative.
Yeah, I saw the picture. It looked like the gophers I catch in the backyard.
Yeah, just delicious rodent.
There's never been a point where I'm like, gopher.
Yeah.
But and then, raw gopher.
Well, I had a friend who was doing some veterinary work out there, and she did say that they're very much into like using all parts of the animal. Nothing goes to waste, like drink blood. So, I mean, it makes sense, except when you get the plague from it.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, I get the whole eat all parts of the animal. Totally get that.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what made them choose that animal when they have like plenty of other shit to eat, right?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of like sparse out there.
Well, it's
in Mongolia.
I mean, the article said that they specifically chose it because they believed some Mongolians believe eating the rodent's uncooked innards to be very good for health. So they ate the kidney, gallbladder, and stomach specifically.
Okay. So to back up, because I mean, we really don't talk about the plague that much aside from our history books. And
right.
So as far as everyone else knows, the plague kind of was like our vintage Thanos analog, right? Took out about a quarter of the population, plunged us into the dark ages. And then everybody figured, okay, that was it. And yet it's still here.
Right.
We just don't live with as many rats.
Or their fleas.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the big thing is like it's living with the rats. It was a big deal in Europe in like 700 years ago because people did not have hygiene, for one. They also didn't have like modern sewage facilities.
Yeah,
like
sanitation, nope. It's slop buckets, yes.
And then fleas love rats and other stuff. And then fleas also love humans. So that was the big problem is they jump from infected rats to humans.
Yeah, I was reading. I thought this is interesting that I wasn't sure if rodents were like a vector that didn't get affected, but it said, no, when there's a big plague outbreak, the rodents die. And then all the fleas are like, well, I guess I'll have some humans. So
yeah. Well, and that's actually, we had plague in like East County a couple of years ago.
That's right.
Yeah. In East County, San Diego, for our non-San Diego listeners. So yes, it was in East County, San Diego.
For our non-San Diego listeners, if it were to be anywhere in San Diego.
Yeah. For those of you who know San Diego, of course it was in East County.
We can say that because we both lived there.
Absolutely. And I lived there as recently as like a year and a half ago and grew up there. So anyways, yeah, it was there. And the only reason they realized it is because I believe there were dead squirrels in a park or something like that.
Yeah, because that's not like, I'm assuming when you were working with patients and they had like a fever, you didn't immediately jump to the plague.
No, because part of my history is never, oh, hey, were you like playing with squirrels in the park and let them bite you?
Any raw rodents?
Yeah. How is your marmot diet lately? Never.
No. So I guess if they had cooked their marmot, they would have been okay. Is that?
I mean, that makes sense, right? That's why we cook most of our food, is to kill bacteria, like, salmonella, right?
Yes.
Except when you don't cook it.
I'm fascinated by this idea that raw food is better. Like, I understand that cooking causes chemical changes, but that's kind of the point, right? Like, you want to denature the bacteria. And yes, some things are more affected than others, but I think certainly the benefit.
Well, that's what kills me is there's actually whole restaurants that focus on raw food. We have one in San Diego, actually, that I've been to.
Probably more than one.
Well, yes, more than one. It's got some damn good food, so I'm not going to knock it. But I don't understand why people believe it's inherently healthy, because these are also the same folks that are chemophobic, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, chemicals are bad. Well, how the fuck are you going to get E. coli off your carrots if, number one, you don't cook them, and number two, you won't use any
H2O.
chemicals to wash it? Like, yes, by the way, H2O, water, is a chemical, but also, like, we know that just rinsing things does not get off E. coli, as evidenced by one of our previous episodes.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, it's interesting. It's like anything else. I'm sure people hold themselves up as an example, like, well, I ate raw and I'm healthy. It's like, okay, well,
you're lucky, not healthy.
Well, and there's plenty of people who are also not eating raw and are also super healthy. Like,
tell me about it. You should see my cholesterol profile. It's freaking amazing.
Have you ever met? I mean, we know probably everybody knows at least 55,000 people who are, well, first they're paleo, now they're keto. But have you known anyone who's full on raw food diet?
Yes, I have seen those folks.
But you're friends with them?
Well, not anymore. Like, how do you go out with people like that?
Well, you don't. They don't go out. Like,
right.
I wonder what that does to your life. Because the only raw, there's a couple raw people that I met. Because my neighbor's like, hey, there's a raw food meetup. This is when everyone was doing meetups in Rancho Santa Fe. Do you want to go?
What? No.
And I'm like, hell yeah, because I want to see what a raw food meetup in Rancho Santa Fe is all about. Now, like,
oh no,
raw food usually thinks hippies, right?
Yes.
And Rancho Santa Fe is not hippies. And it was just this really bizarre group of, I think, mostly people who just wanted to, get to go to a house in Rancho Santa Fe. And
quite possibly,
just like me, right? Like,
or they all have private chefs making them their raw food diet.
Well, and I think that was sort of the case with this woman. And I don't even know if she ate raw food. They just kind of eat raw food sometimes. And I got in trouble because you're supposed to bring.
Yeah, I do too. It's called when I take an apple out of the fridge.
Like, some raw food's fine, great, but not all the time. And so I was trying everybody had to bring something. So I brought like this raw lasagna roll-ups, and I was so proud of myself. And this guy's like, these are really good. What's in them? I was like, oh, zucchini and like cashew cheese. And then there's like a tomato sauce with a little bit of wine. He's like, ugh,
wine.
Wine's not raw.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I was like, oh, I forgot. Like, it's fermented grapes. Like, come on, man.
I don't understand. Like, I'm a winemaker now. I mean...
Yes.
Well,
that's why we're friends.
I hire people to make wine for me. Let's be real. But I've had to learn a little bit about it. There's no point that I'm aware of where we're cooking anything. Now, certainly fermentation increases temperature.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was like, it also...
Or is it just like, ooh,
I think it was supposed
bad.
to be raw and vegan, and the wine wasn't vegan. I don't remember what it was. It was like a teaspoon of wine in this sauce, but then he's like, I won't tell anyone. Like, what? You gonna kick me out?
Seriously?
Like, throw my zucchini rolls out? This is crazy.
Oh my God, that does make me wonder, like, is alcohol vegan? You're using yeast, which are organisms.
I think that there's some sort of I don't know. I think there's some element, like that, where it's not, but I don't know.
We have a mutual friend who makes alcohol who is vegan.
Oh, we should ask. Well, but doesn't he make mead?
Yes, but you still have to
honey's
ferment.
Not vegan.
No, that's right.
Oh my God. Did we just ruin his business? No. So, okay. I only know. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, for one, we'll ask and report back on our next podcast because now I'm fascinated about this. The only other raw people I know are on the blogosphere. And I wouldn't exactly say that they're like people I'd want to emulate. The only one I know of, I'll show you. I've been holding on to this.
No.
Her name is Freely the Banana Girl.
Of course, that's her name.
Of course it is. And she's a nude raw vegan blogger, and her claim to fame.
No, wait.
Okay.
I just have to address that like her picture on the front of this is this hypersexual picture, and she's the banana girl.
Of course. She eats 51 bananas a day.
Holy shit.
Well, they say you are what you eat, and I think that is.
How do you even do that?
I don't know. Aren't bananas supposed to be constipating? They tell you that when kids are like not.
They're high in potassium. I just wonder, like, I would love to know if she has arrhythmia issues with too much potassium.
I don't know.
Because
like she doesn't have to do
vegan.
much. She just gets to lounge around on palm trees.
Oh my God. This is not your typical nudist that's, like chubby and happy and just roaming the world. She is skinny, and every dang one of her pictures is sexual. Is this like raw porn?
She's a frugivore. She only eats fruits.
No.
Yeah. So anyway,
I thought they're like fruitarians. Is that the same?
I don't even know. All I know is I was very impressed by the pastafarians. And I did want to be pastafarian for a while, but that didn't work out.
That's different.
Oh no, wait, this picture's even better.
Oh God.
That's modest.
Oh wow. So for our listeners who don't see her website, this woman is naked. It is a rear end view. She's posed super unnaturally in front of running water out in, nature.
Well, she's covering her butt crack with her fingers.
Honey, I don't think
Modest.
your butt crack is the thing we need to be worried about.
But mostly she's famous for like getting in huge fights with people on
no,
YouTube.
She's famous because she has sexy naked pictures on her website.
Oh yeah,
Let's
well
be real.
that too. And I think she does like naked yoga videos.
Of course.
Right.
Downward Dog is popular, I'm sure.
Oh my God, have you ever seen those naked yoga classes?
No.
Yeah, you can go to, there was this trend about naked yoga, and I think somebody had written an article for the New York Times. Like, it's all about, like, freeing yourself, right?
Of course.
Well, you kind of have to if you're going to do that, right? But, let go of your expectations and blah, 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 blah. Everybody has to be naked, so you can't be a creeper unless you're also naked. I don't really think that obligation is going to keep anybody out. But just, I got so stressed just thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, there would be no Zen moment with me naked in a room of naked people doing yoga.
No, I don't. Anyway.
Oh, gosh. Can you imagine, like, the body odor in that room? Like, I feel like...
That's the least of my concerns.
True that. But I feel like sometimes I've gone to, like, a hot yoga and I'm like, oh, man, like, the stench is a little much in here.
Oh, it's terrible. I used to go to a hot yoga studio because it was the only one in East County. Mm-hmm. And they had carpeted floors.
Oh, gross. Did you keep
gross.
your socks on?
No. So I was wearing, like... As you keep going, you really do get less self-conscious. I don't think I ever would have gotten to the naked phase. But I'd be fine with like a tank top and volleyball shorts. Like that was as far as I was willing to go. But there were people there in bathing suits, and the instructor would always like the actual Bikram guy himself would just wear like a little Speedo. And he looked like Moby because he's a little like bald man in a Speedo. And all that's fine. Except for when they came over to adjust you, like to fix your posture.
Oh, no. And he's like behind you, pulling you.
Well, that wasn't the worst part. Because I'm like, fine, fix my posture. But then he dripped sweat on me.
Oh, gross.
And I didn't know. I was frozen. I was horrified. It was so gross.
I can also imagine being in certain poses when you're like, you're down on all fours or whatever. So your face height is about the height of a Speedo.
I don't know where the sweat was coming from. I just felt it on my back.
Who wants ball sweat on their face?
I hope it wasn't that.
Gross. I can only pray that his Speedo soaked the ball sweat.
Like, hopefully that was the last place it was coming from. Oh, God.
And then that sweat is getting absorbed into the carpet.
Yes.
Ew.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, it was so, the whole place was just so gross and smelly. I don't know how we got here.
Oh, so bubonic plague?
Yeah. Fleas and the plague.
Oh, God. I mean, now it just kind of seems wrong to finish talking about this poor family that died in Mongolia and had to shut down their entire town.
Yeah, so I guess you can, like, normally people would get it from fleas, but you can transmit it once you're infected if it's a certain type of the plague, once it gets in your lungs.
Yeah, that was the big problem is, so this family, young people in their 30s, the husband was working at the border.
Oh, boy.
He was a fucking border agent screening other humans.
All the tourists that came through.
And he ended up having pneumonic plague, which is, gets into your lungs amongst, other things. The plague causes, terrible skin things and, fevers, and you feel like you're going to die because you're going to die.
You're going to die. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
don't your extremities turn black and rot off and stuff too?
Yes, it is hideous, horrific. I mean, that's why we have European art that is demonstrating like these horrific piles of black diseased humans from
like my main memory of the plague is the Monty Python movie. Bring out Sinead. I haven't watched a lot of like Renaissance paintings about the plague.
I took AP European history in high school. Yeah, that's where I have it from. Because I do not have an art interest by any means.
But you took the art history class.
No, I took an AP class.
Okay.
Because I was the AP trying to, be the gunner that I am and finish college early and, all of that stuff.
I wonder what ended the plague.
Actually, I don't know. I mean, except for that, like 60% of the European population died, and so that cut off the vector. Yeah. The vector, certainly there was fleas as the vector, but then there's also from like pneumonic plague, you have respiratory droplets, which we've talked about in other podcasts. Like measles is spread by that, where, you cough or you spit, you are a protester protesting vaccines at the Capitol. All of those ways are ways to spread disease.
So, I mean, we know with a global traveling population populated by idiots who don't believe in preventive medicine, that like the next plague, the next pandemic is really, it's going to happen anytime. But rest assured that when it does, it will eventually run its course.
Because you'll all die.
I mean, maybe not all of you, just a good portion of you.
As long as you quarantine yourself, which, by the way, that's what happened here. The whole city had to quarantine themselves.
That makes me worried because I feel like if that happens, like who's going to emerge? It's going to be all the weird survivalists.
All the preppers.
Yeah.
P.S. I'm one of them. But nobody knows where I live, right? Well, you do.
I do. Well, good. Now I know where to go.
By the way,
you let me in.
I have like freeze-dried food, and I have a trauma kit. I can literally do surgery in my kitchen.
Are you seriously? You're all prepped?
Yeah, I am so not joking. Like, I don't want our listeners to think I'm a wackadoo. Well, maybe they already do. I don't know.
Well, I guess it depends on what exactly are you prepping for? Now, don't answer yet, okay? Because, like, I think prepping for a pandemic, I would believe, I would go for that. Are you prepping for the government that's taken over like that? Or are you prepping for Armageddon?
Yeah, so I'm not paranoid. I don't have like, I don't need to wear my tinfoil hat or, treat my mental health disease. I don't believe people are out to get me by any means. I do believe that if something like a pandemic happened and people needed to be quarantined, that we don't have the ability to provide for everybody. We know that. Like you lived in San Diego in, was it 2007 when the entire city was on fire?
Yeah.
And we didn't have power.
Yeah.
I remember during that time, I was, thankfully I have an RV. So we actually had a functioning refrigerator for my medications that had to be refrigerated. And we have lots of, camping supplies and all of that. And I remember my neighbors literally walking up and down the street and we were talking about like, oh, what are you going to eat tonight? What, and I was like, oh, hey.
Raw squirrel.
I know, raw squirrel, right? So I was like, come on over. I've got food. Everyone's good. Because we didn't have power for a very long time in East County.
Yeah. And so I think those things are reasonable, right? Prepping for natural disasters, earthquakes, wildfires in our area. So that's not, like, prepper to me carries an added level of societal breakdown concerns.
Yeah, like I don't have a bunker.
Okay.
Don't forget to subscribe to our WooCast on iTunes, Google Play, and all other major listening platforms. Or you can go directly to our website at whatthewoopodcast.com. You can support us on our Patreon at patreon.com/whatthewoo, where you can get our merch and access to special bonus episodes.
It's the good stuff.
Exactly. You can also email us at contact@whatthewoopodcast.com or contact us directly on our website as well. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, we would. What the Woo is an educational podcast and is not a substitute for professional care and advice. Please seek appropriate medical care for any healthcare concerns. Opinions expressed are solely those of the doctors and not those of any sponsors or employees.